So I'm going to stay and watch the coverage. I was actually going to go out. It's just, this is a monumental moment for the world, and I don't mean that because the royals are this tabloid fodder that they've been for a long time. I mean, Queen Elizabeth, as long as I've been alive, there was a queen in England, and her name was Elizabeth. As far as the royalty went, I probably became more aware of Princess Diana as a young person, again, because she was a Durrani, because it was all over the news, her wedding when I was a kid. So that's how I became familiar with the royals. But it was nice, and I remember the Queen Mum, actually. She was a trip, and they've just been there, and something has happened now, as far as I'm concerned, to the royal family. I think they got kind of screwed up by these kids, and I mean the youngest generation here, because they were weird before, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I don't know. I wasn't expecting this to happen. I really wasn't. I mean, they said this morning that they were rushing her, and I was like, really? It didn't seem like it didn't, because she hadn't been sick. You know what I mean? She was still showing up places. So, yeah, and it's weird because just like, I don't know if it was yesterday, the day before, they got a new prime minister. So it's like, it's almost like a meeting of the moment here where England's, you know, totally switching over, and I believe this woman was just chosen. I don't know how they do that whole prime minister thing. To me, I've been saying the world is changing. I'm not a fan of the way it's been changing. But this is a tumultuous time, and I don't mean a normal tumultuous time. I don't mean like, oh, it's 1969. No, I think that this is before everybody started talking about any kind of resets or anything like that in terms of anything that anybody down here planned. There was an idea that there was going to be some kind of, like, the whole world was going to change, like in a profound way, like the dinosaurs all died kind of a way. You could feel it, but I watch a lot of astrology channels. I watched a lot of astrologers. Who did I watch? What was her name? I haven't been watching them that much over the last little while because predictive astrology, I'm not that big a fan of, because I just feel like you're better off not knowing what's going to happen, but not in world things. But, oh God, Adrienne Elise, I used to watch all the time. I haven't been watching her that much. The Leo King, he's a good astrologer, and he's been predicting a lot of things. And, but I've been watching her for a few years, and there was supposed to be this great awakening, this great thing where the world changed, and then we had, you know, the COVID and everything that happened because of it, this whole pandemic. And unfortunately, I thought that was going to be the thing, and instead it ended up being a blip in a way, because people didn't respond the way they should have. And now to just have this, I mean, everybody has known this woman their whole lives, basically, unless you're older than 96, and she's not there anymore, and that's crazy to me. And it couldn't be more symbolic of the kind of massive change I'm talking about that's happening, whether we want it to or not. I don't like the change. My life wasn't great though, but I'm more afraid of what's coming, and I'm not supposed to be. But the world that has been evolving is not one I'm in favor of. So I've said many times that I feel like I belong in the last century. But the world is changing in such a way, I have no idea what's coming. I'm 100% positive I'm not prepared for it. I think I'm more prepared mentally. This is the thing where people trying to act like with what happened to me yesterday. And I am not saying I am 100%. I have my moments. But as I go out into the world and I deal with people, I see how nervous and anxiety-ridden people are who have a lot of their ducks in a row, or most of their ducks in a row. I see celebrities who I've been watching for 20, 30 years, and they look absolutely crazy, and they've got nothing to worry about financially, you know, but they look like they can't handle it. They can't handle watching the news. And this is a time everything is coming to a head. That's happening in my own life. That's why I've been more nervous lately. But in terms of because I am so sullen and tragic, I expect bad things. And so I don't react the way that I should, because I don't react, because I do cry when I need to, because I do vent and I say everything and I put it all out there. I think some people think that makes me crazy, but I'm, you know, I feel like you have emotions for a reason and you're supposed to let them out. And so other people who are desperately trying to stuff theirs down, or trying to what do you want to say, medicate themselves, or they take issue with me because to be the way I am would be the worst thing in the world for them. And I think I make them sick. Honestly, I think I make them sick. And then they attack me. Then that's what I think I'm going through right now. And I think there's a lot of that right now. I've been talking about the battle between good and evil. It's been going on for a long time. That's what I thought about a year and a half ago, or a year and 9 months ago. I think things have escalated so much. I know some people want to be at peace and everything. They want to be at peace because they have money in the bank, and they, even whether they say that it's going to help them or not, they think that they're going to be all right. And it's like, we've never lived, none of us, even the Queen, have never lived in a more barbaric world, or we've never lived in the woods. Okay, we've never had to survive on nature. We're not survivalists. I don't want to be. I mean, like I said in the past, when I've watched Lord of the Rings and stuff, oh, it'd be so cool to live in Lothlorien or something like that. Or I say, I wish that we had never left the caves. Yeah, but we did. So I'm not ready to go live in a cave now. But this is the kind of tumult that I think we're in. This is massive. I hope Charles is okay. I mean, he's not going to be okay, but he's going to miss his mummy. With all the stuff that's gone on with Andrew and stuff, I hope people just, you know, take a powder on flipping out on him, because it's his mummy too. And I just feel really bad. There's a garbage truck outside, if you can hear that. I did not put out garbage because I said, you know what, I only have a small bag. It's like the size of a Walmart bag. I don't know how I'm eating things that I don't eat things with bones. I don't eat things, you know, from Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I just don't generate a lot of garbage. There's a lot of stuff I could throw away, but I mean, I don't generate weekly garbage that's got to go out because it's smelly. That's what I'm saying. I was gonna go out now. I just feel like this is a moment, and I was honestly thinking before maybe I shouldn't go out just in case, because it seemed like everything was happening fast, but I still didn't expect it. And there's been, and I hate to say this, but it's true, there's been major things that happened and I wasn't home. I was nowhere near TV, and then I felt like I missed that moment in history. And it's not, this isn't about me, and none of the things I'm talking about is about me, but there's like that big school shooting back in Connecticut that time. I'm forgetting the name of the school. It was on my birthday, December 14th, and I had gone to see The Hobbit in Boston. So I was in the movie theater I was in the movie theater for hours. I came out, I went to Wendy's, I took the bus home, and I only heard on the bus home that something had happened. So by the time I got home, everybody else had been freaked out. Everybody else had that news for hours, and it was like I missed it, but it was just like it never had the impact on me that it had on other people, because I was just hearing about it the way people report about history, like it was something that happened eons ago, but it was hours ago, but everybody watched it live, and I wasn't there. And as a person, I feel like sometimes the only reason I am alive is to be a witness to things. So when I do miss a thing, I feel wrong about it. Not like it was about me, not like, oh, gossip, because I hate gossip, but I went there once. I stood at that gate. I went on the wrong day, because I had gone to Sheffield for the European figure skating championships, and because I was in Sheffield, I did want to go to London, so I picked one day where I would skip the championships and just go to London on the megabus and come back. So the day I went is the day they don't do the changing of the guard. This is what I mean about the wrong day. But I'm looking at that gate, and I almost am like, you actually went there. I haven't done anything in my life. I meant to be a world traveler. I meant to be a jet setter. But in 2012, I thought the world was going to end, and maybe it did. In 2012, I thought the world was going to end, so I said, screw it, I'm going to England. Because that was the first place I always wanted, not the first place I wanted to go, the first place I had to go. Because I had been so influenced by British stuff, Britpop of the 1980s, Duran Duran, Culture Club, Wham. And at the same time on TV, we were watching Monty Python, and, you know, my mom and all the older people had always watched Benny Hill. So, there was always a Britishness. This recent round of constant coverage of Meghan Markle and stuff, it's just that whole thing. And I'm not even a fan of watching William and Kate. But, her, the way she was, to me, she was a queen the way they had been. I don't know what Charles is going to be like. King Charles. Now, do they pick a name? Because they were just saying, like, do they pick a different name? Like, popes pick a different name? Because somebody just said they don't know what his name's going to be. I thought it would just be King Charles. I don't know why I like him. Because I've barely heard him talk, but there's something about him that seems like funny British to me. Like, Rye. And I feel bad because, like I said, he just lost his dad. That was just happened. Oh, I have faith in him. I mean, they're not technically government, but the fact that they just got a new prime minister and they had to sit around and wait to figure out who it was, I don't even understand that. But this morning, as I said on the video that got cut off because somehow I didn't realize the internet was going on the blink. The sun just came out bright.
Yes, they will definitely be looking for signals, and they will be looking for clear messages from King Charles as to how he plans.
So what does happen? I don't know what happens. Does he have? I mean, ceremony-wise, I mean, it's his mom, and he's there, and he's mourning, and they're all sad and everything. But does he have to come out and produce himself on a balcony or something? I don't know. I don't know if it's Disney movies in my head or what. But the first thing, I mean, I don't know if you're supposed to say it, but I don't know why it occurred to me, but it was. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be obnoxious, but I am, I guess. The phrase or the thing that in my head was, "The Queen is dead. God save the King." I mean, haven't I watched so many things where they say that? So I don't know if it's rude. I don't know if you have to wait for an actual coronation. I don't know what happens for him to be king. I know nothing because we just had her all this time.
it might have been tonight if the announcement had come a bit earlier today. It may well now drift into tomorrow. We're getting the statement from the Prime Minister, but he will be addressing his people. He will be addressing the nation. That is a speech that he will have written and rewritten over the years. It's not something you leave to chance, because not just the population here, but the population around the world will be
I don't, like I said, I don't know why. I know everybody else thinks because of the gossip and because of all the stuff, but you know,
He's in his 70s already. So
it's different.
to leave a
It's
legacy,
different
he's
circumstance.
got to start fast.
All right, please, I'm going to go back to Wilfred Frost.
I'm going to be a fan of King Charles
From the
unless he picks a new name, which I don't know why he would pick a new name. I don't know what that was about when they were saying that.
Lester, and in fact, the most stark part of it is the title, a statement from His Majesty the King, and it reads, quote, "The death of my beloved mother, Her Majesty the Queen, is a moment of the greatest sadness for me and all members of my family. We mourn profoundly the passing of a cherished sovereign and a much-loved mother. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms, and
I don't know why it's making me feel so bad. Honest to God, I don't. Just when Jenna was talking, she was talking about it, and I don't know. I just, maybe she had passed away then already, and you just felt it or something. I don't know. Okay, here comes this Prime Minister lady. The first time I'm going to hear her speak in my life.
We're going to go to 10 Downing Street here as a Prime Minister.
All I can hear is the cameras. Can't hear her at all.
The great country it is today because of her. She is a shock to the nation and to the world.
What are they doing?
Queen Elizabeth
NBC's now overdubbing what she's saying.
which modern Britain was built. Our country has grown and
Oh, so they're gonna go back and redo it on live?
Britain
Come
is
on.
the great country it is today because of her. She ascended the throne just after the Second World War. She championed the development of the Commonwealth from a small group of 7 countries to a family of 56 nations, spanning every continent of the world. We are now a modern, thriving, dynamic nation. Through thick and thin, Queen Elizabeth II provided us with the stability and the strength that we needed. She was the very spirit of Great Britain, and that spirit will endure. She has been our longest ever reigning monarch. It's an extraordinary achievement to have presided with such dignity and grace for 70 years. Her life of service
My cousin Doreen actually looked like
stretched
her
beyond most of our living memories.
when she was young, you know what I mean?
In return, she was
When
loved
Elizabeth
and
was young.
admired by the
A little bit
people
to
of the
me.
United Kingdom and all around the world. She has been a personal inspiration to me and to many Britons. Her devotion to duty is an example to us all. Earlier this week, at 96, she remained determined to carry out her duties.
Didn't she do some kind of James Bond thing, opening thing at the Olympics?
Throughout her life, she's visited more than 100 countries, and she has touched the lives of millions around the world. In the difficult days ahead, we will come together with our friends across the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, and the world to celebrate her extraordinary lifetime of service. It is a day of great loss, but Queen Elizabeth II leaves a great legacy. Today, the crown
It's so
passes.
sad. It's just the world that I kind of did like for a long time. It's just collapsing in on itself. And this is a big,
King Charles III.
big,
With the King's family,
big
we mourn the
symbolic
loss of
thing of it, but it's not
As
just
we
symbolic.
mourn, we must come together as a people to support him.
And I don't
To
think
help
that
him
things are
and the
gonna
awesome
be
responsibility
better.
that he now carries
I guess
for
that's
us
what's
all.
wrong with me.
We offer him our loyalty
Um,
and devotion.
maybe
Just as his mother devoted
the
so much
survivors
to so many
of the
and
youngest
so much.
generation will have a better world. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's just, I don't
We usher in a new
feel
era
good
in the
about
magnificent history of our
anything.
great country.
I feel like,
Exactly as Her Majesty would have wished, by saying the words, "God save the
God save the king.
Prime Minister Liz Truss just a few days on the job, delivering remarks to her nation and to the world as we all absorb the loss, the death at age 96 of Queen Elizabeth II. Let's go back to Keir Simmons right now. Keir, I noted the Prime Minister referred to...
It's, if you look at the weather behind Keir Simmons, it looks, I don't know if it was raining or if it's just foggy-ish, but it looked so gray when they had that announcement earlier.
The Prime Minister describing him as King Charles III suggests that he is going to be, and is now, King Charles III.
King Charles III.
I mean, this is what it is to watch history happen, isn't it, Lester? Today the crown passes, as it has done for more than 1,000 years, the Prime Minister said, and at the same time paying tribute to the late Queen, talking about, and she had this personal experience of this, talking about the Queen's determination to see her and appoint her Prime Minister just days before her death. That will be a key...
It's crazy that that happened.
The fact that she was so determined to carry out her constitutional duties right up until the end. So little wonder that Prime Minister Truss said that...
Well, it was sudden. They weren't there. They had to rush today to get to her in Scotland. So, yes, she was elderly, and yes, she was deteriorating, but not that quickly. Because they had to, they said, when they put out the thing concerned, that was like the magic hospice word. You know.
And stability that we needed. Now, plainly, at this moment, there will be people feeling concerned, worried, a sense of instability.
It's complete. The whole world is unstable, and this is a huge, like I say, this is a huge marker of it. This, you know what it's like in 2001, the monoliths when they come down. This time is a monolith time. I kind of want to watch 2001. I don't have it. Because the problem is, when I look back in history, I look back at any time at things and how they evolved, or moments of time of great change. I don't think things changed for the better before. Unless Jesus is really coming to smite the place, I mean, I would think I would get smited as well. But unless somebody was coming to just do, you know, a real rain was going to come and wash away all the, you know. I don't want to be here for the real rain. That's the problem. This is different. This is, maybe everybody's not going to be as sad, but this is different. This is different in a more, I don't even want to say profound way. This is just a more massive thing that has just happened. And she, I mean, she's kind of the definition of stalwart. When your stalwart goes, what then? You know, what then? When the pillar goes, what then?
There are aspects of this that there are plans in place, of course. So because the Queen has died at Balmoral,
I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for all of us. I think the world is going down, and I know that makes me supposedly a bad person spiritually, but I tell the truth. And if the truth is a bad thing, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. And this poor woman is gone, and I don't know that she was suffering. I know that she was ill. I don't know if she was in pain all this time, or if it was just a gradual, you know, aging that took her. But she did her duty, and she's probably one of the least free people who was not actually a slave. Yeah, she did her duty for 96 years. So I used to remember when I used to think when I used to daydream about being famous, I thought we'd hang out. And I don't know why. It was really weird. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we hung out and we both liked Ronald Colman? I don't know what made me think that maybe we'll hang out and we'll talk about movies, and somehow we'll both like Ronald Colman, or she'll like me if I like Ronald Colman, because I don't know what about me thought that she would like Ronald Colman. It was just one of these weird things, because I was an old movie buff, and you know, like I said before, I would like old dudes that were long gone, or you know, really old when I was a kid. So
Well, we are told that President Biden was
nobody cares. Nobody cares what he said. Honestly, they could have just had a taco or a breakfast burrito. Give their condolences, because who cares? Alright, I'm gonna stop because I've left something on the stove. And I'm going to come back later on and see if anything happens. I'm not gonna go out now. I was gonna go out, but I don't think so. So, alright. God save the king.